Good morning, Predicted Trades family. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm going to rattle through prep quickly. Just posted the Beast tool for the day, so make sure you go grab that in live trading. It is pinned at the top of live trading. So, ES, overall premise, yesterday and going into the week. I said we could dip down to 41.01. Want to see that hold to start hitting higher. We got that yesterday. Ran right down and tapped it and went right back up to the next key level, that 41.65, while chopping around this key 41.36.5, this shaded zone. So looking at today, a whole bunch of squeezes have set in. So, you know, we can play squeeze tops and bottoms. We're about to open near the tops. Would not be surprised for a little rejection and to go back and tap 41.36 again. I also would not be surprised to come down and tap this trend line from the lows of last week. So we could come all the way down to tap this trend line in the middle of the squeeze cloud and even tap that 41.01 while staying inside of the squeeze and going back higher. Here are some key targets to the upside that I foresee for ES. Let's see, it's up about 20 points. There we go. Up about 20 points with the 100-point ATR. Yeah, she could technically get to test this trend line. This is the trend line from the highs this year, right? Just one of the trend lines. I've been drawing kind of a more aggressive and a less aggressive trend line in most cases. But we got through the resistance that carried us into Monday. We, could hit these squeeze tops, take a little dip down to test this trend line before heading higher. We can just trudge on up. It is the first of the month. It is a new month. And, we've got a couple of weeks before OPEX and before any FOMC, so they could really go on a buying spree right now. We do have some Fed quantitative tightening, QT, that's going to be going on that hopefully should not really be affecting us over here in the main tickers and market that we watch, right? So ultimately looking for ES to stay in these squeezes, hold those 4100, 4136, head higher. Should we give out this trend line? We do have the daily 21 down at 4080, and we have a huge key level at this 4056. Between 4056, 4101, 4136, these three have tried to kind of be our bottom. Now, we did go lower than 4056, but earlier in the year, January, February, we were trying to bounce at those three numbers, 4136, 4101, and 4056. So those are very key levels that we could potentially need to revisit and everybody get loaded for the long that we are kind of foreseeing. But we have hit these levels plenty of times, and we are back above. So hopefully any dip just tags trend line, squeeze bottom, and then sends us higher. We have the daily 50 up at 4260. It's a little more than an ATR away, which we would be testing this trend line when we're hitting it like an ATR. So I could see us work up to it and then come back to chill at some of these levels before heading higher to the daily 50 at 42.60. Kind of the mission right now. And you can see the daily squeeze is lining up there too, daily squeeze top. It's thin, so we can tear through it. NQ. I'm going to burn through these names real fast. NQ, same thing, got through resistance that led us into the week. We've got a couple of key levels up above. We've got the sliver of a daily squeeze up here before we get to the daily 50. And we have the daily 21 right down at our last key zone. Yesterday we tagged the 21 and got our bounce. So we'll see if we need to take a dip and do that again, but we kind of got our moving average tap and we can get going higher now. So loving everything to the upside. Watch squeeze tops, they could cause us to come back for some retests. But if we can just get through them and turn these levels that have been resistance into support, we can start heading higher and higher. Big psychological 13,000, which we're up 50 points. Yeah, we could get to 13,000 today and not really even break a sweat. So, ready. Pulling up on 1900, very big, very key. If Ruddy can get up above 1900 and stay there for more than a few candles, it can be kind of an early indicator that they do want to take everything higher. 1900 was a huge number for small caps for the Ruddy back in the sell-off. So now that we're there, if we can get above it, push off of it, the Ruddy might be the first to take out its daily 50, just giving us some signs of where we might be headed. YM, almost to its daily 50. So actually it looks like YM might arrive first. So let's keep an eye on that. 600 point ATR. Yeah, she can get up to this daily 50. And kind of the squeeze, daily squeeze top today if she really wanted to on YM. But with all these stack squeezes on everything, let's be prepared for a slow grind, because that's what we tend to see when we have all these stack squeezes. It could run into it, fall back, keep running into it, and open it up over the course of the day, and then these squeezes can be firing the next day. So we can rip right through them and then keep going. But generally, we don't see that with most of these squeezes when they get all stacked on each other like this, right? Go back and look at them. Apple. 150, pretty key, pretty paramount. Need to get above that and keep trucking. We do have a trend line from some of the highs to be dealing with once we get to 152. And right now, it's all mission back to 155. Apple above 155 is a huge indication that they want to take tech higher and they want to take the market back near all-time highs. If we can get above 155, hold it and keep pushing on Apple. So we're pulling up on 150. Let's see if we can keep pushing. But it wasn't really much of a leader yesterday because Amazon was doing all the leading. But today on Apple, here's your key levels. 150, 151, obviously the next levels to take out in a bid to get up above 152. And we do have the daily one that's going to be cutting right in here. So we've got our daily 21 retest and bounce. Might need to do it one more time today, but looking good to the upside. AMD. Top of the squeeze, daily squeeze yesterday. Can keep hitting it and running into it and getting it to open up. But you got a nice range today with these squeezes, the smaller time frame squeezes. See if she can hold 100, see if she can break 104, which was resistance pretty much yesterday. Amazon. I wonder if they're loading Amazon. Draw your trend lines from the lows, folks. When those give out, it might just be a quick reset and profit taking to reload off of a key level. You can see this 21 daily 21 and this 2316 starting to form a little zone of support. Not saying it happens today, not trying to be an American watch, but there might be a little bit of a profit taking just to load up for the next big leg in these couple of days that we have left until they're split. But with only 3 days left, it could just be all gas, no brakes. As you can see, already setting new highs in a bid to get back to gap fill, which starts at 2600, 2700, 2800. It's a wide gap. But ultimately, in the next couple of days, if she really wanted to, she can get up to the daily 50, to that 2700, at least to the gap fill, beginning at 2600. So, where do I think she's going? I think she's going up there. Let's see if they want to do a quick profit taking. I mean, really, in a day, they can go down to this and then right back up a full ATR. So, keep watching Amazon. Top setup for the week. We've been talking about it. Cat, same thing. Been raging up. I said when she got to 200, load long, and she's pushing up. We got 220. And this daily squeeze above, she made it to the 50. Let's see if it can keep trucking to the 50. One of the only names so far that's made it and trying to push off of it. So keep an eye on it for a gauge if you're not going to play it. Facebook. XLC not quite the strongest, and Facebook is still dipping to tap 193, which is the top of the gap fill that it pretty much filled. So this looks like it's going to just keep tapping 193 and then finally take off. But let's see if it can hold above this 195.32 and push to get to 200 with the daily 50 up at 205. Not a bad setup on Facebook. She's just kind of lagging. Whereas Google got plenty of love yesterday, pushed up above the daily 21. You could see it rated to some resistance from some highs. That brought it back to the 21. So it's going to be pinned kind of in between those. And the squeezes are starting to set in. Let's see if we can take out that trend line, get above 23.15, and push off to get to 23.60, 23.80, which are the next resistance points. If we slip below the 21, we have the daily 15 and the daily 8 down below. But not really too worried about that. GS. GS. Nice and strong above its daily 50, pushing into this daily squeeze. Take a look. This daily squeeze forms, gets big and red, which is medium compression. Now it's starting to open. The red is going away. This is what it looks like when they start to fire. So they can push against them, opening them up. And as it pushes further into them, they'll start to disappear. So just an idea of what that looks like. GS strong, up at the 330. Targets up above, looks like we got a 2-day squeeze also set in a bid to get back to 340. We have the 334, first Keltner up, and the 344 as a second Keltner up. And look at that, the squeeze just settles right in between them. I like when things line up. It's always a coincidence, right? JPM. The day I take it off my watching, it takes off. But then it's just been slow grinding against this daily cloud, firing it up, and about to arrive at what I can only assume is a 2-day. Yes, that's very thin. But let's see if we can get through this 133.25 to get up to 136. This third Keltner up for JPM. Might be time for her to take a break here soon. Microsoft. Microsoft is working its way through this, I believe, an old gap on earnings. And, you know, not a big interest in Microsoft, just as long as it's not tanking, right? Let's see, it's got the daily 21 down at 267. So if there is a little slipping or rotation out of Microsoft because they're rotating into something else like Amazon, keep an eye on those squeezed bottoms in the daily 21. Want to see a bounce there for further upside on Microsoft and the market. Netflix. Arriving at the daily 21. Arriving at 200. Let's see how it deals with that. Might see a little profit taking, a little dip to shake people out back to 197 or this 194 low that we bounced at before close, which aligns with squeeze bottoms, right? So might be a little bit of dip on her before she takes out 200, or she could blast right through 200, get up to 205, this daily squeeze top, to finally get above the 21 on Netflix. Nvidia. Like I said, folks, I'm going to rattle these quickly so we can get in and prep. Or, you know, get ready for the day. Vidi, you know, they said a miss. They bought it right up. She's looking strong above the daily 21. Might need to retest it. So watch for a potential dip buy around that 182.5. Before heading higher through 190 on a mission to get back to 200, where the daily squeeze top sits. We also have that first Keltner at 194 to watch. QQQ. 311. Pretty important on QQQ. Let's see if we can actually get above it. Use it as support in a bid to get back to the zone above at 316, 317. Q's closed at 308. Technically, she can get up here today. Just have to get through these squeeze tops. So keep an eye out for, you know, potential dip to retest pre-market low and the squeeze bottom before getting the energy to take out this 311, 312 and a bid to get up to this 317. You know, should these squeezes start to slip to the downside, obvious targets are these daily moving averages. When they're all stacked together, sometimes we'll just give out one just to get the other and then take off again. So, Roku, not a huge interest, but it is above the 21 already, whereas Netflix is just trying to get to and through it. And we're pulling up on 100, pretty big level for Roku. She doesn't like living below 100. Kathy's buying that up. So let's see if we dip to the 21, squeeze bottoms before taking off. Pretty much same as everything else. Shop, you know, moving up on sympathy, I would say, with Amazon. Not even back to the 21. Just kind of getting dragged along more than trying to lead e-commerce. She'll have her time. Let's let Amazon get her split out of the way. Shop will get love later in the month. So no interest. Just leave it alone. SPX. I'm gonna have a little bit of a gap up. Might even be near this Keltner and able to take off. Daily 50 up above 42.70. It is not quite within reach, maybe today. But you never know, we could have a rip-roaring day. Spy. This 414 is pretty key. We are wedging. I can see it without drawing it, so definitely draw your wedge, as we might go down to retest. Back at about that 412, 412 and a half. Tap some squeeze bottoms, wedge bottom before taking off higher. Already starting to peak out a little bit this morning. Let's see if the 414 can hold us up to send us higher, or if we go down to tap 412 and a half. Should we start to slip below that, need a 410 to hold, or we will go back to tap the daily 21, which is down around 407. And upside targets getting back to a 417, 18, and then 420. We do have the daily 50 up at 425 near our key level. So let's see if we can take out the first zone, use it as support to push up to the next zone. Yada yada. Swear. I talked about she might be ready to have some fun this week. And then I didn't really watch her yesterday, and I'm kind of glad I just didn't. But let's see if she can get back above the 21, at the same time getting above this tiny little 30-minute squeeze. She could accelerate quickly to take out this 92 and get her butt back to 100. But closing at 87, 8.8 TR. She can get about 95 today. Doesn't mean she will. Right now, she's not leading. Gotta see who's leading. Tesla made a nice move up, holding above this 744. Let's see if that can hold. As you see, we can slip it, but look at where candles close. Very important. Still holding. Let's see if it can hold 750, get through squeeze tops, and start fighting back above 800, but lots of key levels of resistance above as it tries to march above 800. Let's see how the squeezes go. You know how we play squeezes. Play long off the bottom, short off the top, until one breaks. VIX. VIX, getting down near these lows. We could know pretty quickly today. Does VIX get below 25 and a half? Actually tap 25 and 24 and a half, which is down and daily squeeze bottoms, right near it, right? For upside to continue, VIX really needs to get below 25 and start pushing to sub 25 numbers. The daily 200 sits down at 22 and some change, 23 we can call it. So for us in the market to get above the daily 50 and keep, to the daily 50 and move above it, VIX needs to reject the daily 50 and head down to the daily 200. But we could see very quickly if VIX is bouncing at 25 and a half, gets back over 26 and a half, that probably means we're going to have a dip and get some dips to buy. So keep an eye on VIX. Key levels need to get down below 25. If it starts breaking above 27, we're having a dip time. Hopefully this prep was all helpful. Gonna end it here. See you guys in the room. Good luck today. And remember, no beast, no feast.